All right. What is cracking, everybody? What is everyone doing well today? It's game week 3 of actually no, it's the post review of game week 3. I hope you guys can hear me. It's a new mic, it's a new setup. How's everyone doing today? Put in the chat who's here, right? Say hello, say hi to us so we know who's here right now. Part of the intro, we're just warming up to the start of this show. This show is gonna be again a bit on the improvisation side, right? Improvisation side, right? You can see the jersey behind. I think quite a nice repertoire of jerseys. We got Balestier, the beautiful wiki. We got Mr. VR himself, part of the controversy. Later we'll go talk to him. Later we've got Tampines Rovers and we got the Albirex away. All right.
Probably the 3 most informed teams
Yeah,
this season.
exactly.
First 3 game weeks.
Exactly. That's the whole point. I put those 3 jerseys. Geylang, all I can get lah. I can put it away lah. My Geylang jersey. Anyways,
they did play one more game.
Yeah, fair. And I mean, they got what 7 points out of like what?
Possible 12.
12. Yeah.
Still a decent start.
Was it 12? Possible 12? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because they drew one and they lost one. Yeah. Actually, I haven't sent this to. Yeah, should I send this to? Okay. Anyways, guys, what's everyone doing? So, Rising Stacks, thank you very much for your comment. Marcus, hello, mate. As always, welcome. Hello. Riyad, thank you very much. As always, you're always here. Dura, hello, welcome, mate. Wen Long, you're here. You say S-League headline of the week, the VR. Yeah, exactly. VR is gonna be a very controversial topic. I think today we're going to go through quite a bit extensively. So stay tuned for the show. And then, as usual, we're going to do the heavy bulk of the show. And then at the end, we're going to do a live discussion. Yeah. Again, it's going to be a bit on the improvisation side. So as we are trying to open up this show, Josh, how was your week today? This past week.
It's a decent week. It felt a bit weird in the SPL sense because usually like there'll be games around 5:30, 6 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday, but this week the games were on Thursday and Friday.
Yep.
And then if I'm not wrong, Tuesday and Wednesday we're gonna have another 4 games. So I think it's been a bit different in the SPL sense. In the other sense, I mean it's pretty bad for Liverpool fans, I guess.
Yeah, exactly why you're just rooting you're wearing the you never walk alone cap, but you're not rocking your Liverpool jersey.
I would have, but for a change, try something a bit more colorful to brighten the mood. But yeah, I mean, in that sense, not a great week for football, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's quite a terrible week for Liverpool fans. I mean, you guys beat Whack United 7-0 and then at the end, Bournemouth. But Bournemouth did play well, right?
They did.
Yeah.
Liverpool have struggled away. They've struggled at early kickoffs.
Yeah.
So I think I did joke in some chats that Liverpool are gonna lose one.
Yeah.
And it didn't really happen. So I mean, there are reasons you could sort of see it coming, but
Fair.
I mean, it's good to see United fans out and about celebrating Liverpool loss of all things instead of celebrating United.
Yep. All right, so just us premiering the Premier League just a bit for the intro. 10 o'clock is going to be the Arsenal game. So if you guys want to feel free to watch the game, we'll be still doing this live while the Arsenal game is going on. So I'm an Arsenal fan, so it's all right. We let's prioritize this. We enjoy engaging the community. Thank you everyone for tuning. 22 people are in the chat. We love to see it.
Probably by the time we end, it'll be 2-0 Fulham. Don't worry.
Oh dear, at the Cottage. We don't really do well at the Cottage, so let's see how we need to extend our lead. Not extend our lead. We need to power through our way to the third quarter of the Premier League. Hopefully, Arsenal can stay on to all the way to the end. All right, so thank you everyone for tuning. Radio Daydream, welcome, mate. Rising Stacks, Mighty King, a lot of familiar faces as always. Kickoff art, welcome, mate. Welcome. So yeah, let's begin, right? 4 minutes into the game. Okay, so let's start at 5 minutes. So at least I can do the timestamps later, much easier. Maybe you guys put in the chat, right? Which jersey is the nicest be in the background? I know it's 3 teams, but there's 4 jerseys. Maybe you can say like Balestier, or is it Albirex, or is it Tampines, or is it Albirex home or away? Just put down in the chat which one you think is the nicest. Yeah. So with that being said, we're gonna now kick off to the start of the stream, which is let's go. So game week 3. All right. So what's everyone's thoughts about game week 3? You can put it down in the chat, and also you can say about the jersey, right? And Josh, what do you think? So you did say it's a bit weird because this week is Thursday and Friday, right? And then now, how do you think of the 4 games that was played?
Oh, this is a good question. I mean, the game of the week for everyone was probably, on paper it was Sailors Albirex.
Yep.
But I think on the pitch, the game of the week was Balestier DPMM.
In
terms of excitement, in terms of competition, goals, drama. Of course, there's plenty of drama in the Sailors game, but not 90-10.
Yep.
10-minute winner.
So 90, yeah,
You could
100,
say
100, yeah, 100 minute
90
winner.
plus 10, yeah.
90 plus 10. Ryo Tanaguchi, right, with such a performance. Zach actually said in the final whistle chat that he did complete it's a complete hat trick. Head, left foot, right footer.
Yeah.
So later we'll talk more about Tanaguchi. Deserved hat trick. What a great game then. That one was such an entertaining goal fest. A lot of controversy with that 2 red cards. 1 red card and then the other red card, but it was appealed and then thank God it would have been a very harsh red card. And the other game as well with Sailors, it also would have been another harsh red card. But we'll get to that as well, right?
I mean, Tampines comfortable win again, and then it's good to see Tanjong Pagar off the mark.
Yep.
Against your Geylang.
We'll get to that as well. So, okay, people in the chat are saying, all right, so Ding Heng said Balestier. Balestier kids, I got a record. I agree with him. I think, for me personally, I think Balestier's home and away triumphs everyone, right? That's my personal opinion. So, Rising Stacks, obviously, he said this is totally not biased. Mustache Eden says Albirex. All right, so we got Albirex, we got we've got Tampines. Plenty of upsets. Yeah, definitely VR controversy. Tampines Rovers. So, a lot of people prefer the Tampines Rovers kid. All right. So Ryo Tanaguchi was on fire against DPMM. Exactly, Hendra. Is that Kodai out of the season? Yes. So we'll get to that right now. All right. So for me personally, I think those 4 games, yeah, great action. I think it was goals galore, right? Each game at least had 2 goals. Yes, 4-0, 2-0, 4-3, and 3-0. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's typical of SPL games. You always see like high scoring 4-3, 3-3, 2-2 and all. But I think there's a bit of a shift this season when you look at say Tampines.
Yep. Okay. So let's go on to our next. All right. So let's talk about the first game. Yeah. Like what George said, I think this game everyone was looking forward because it's always a top 2 clash, right? These 2 teams always go at it. Unfortunately, it's always been one-sided affair for. I think only Sailors have beaten Albirex once in the Community Shield, and that did not gotten a win against Albirex in the league. Yes, so I was there in person to watch at Bishan's at Jurong East. What am I saying? Jurong East Stadium, and the game was actually Sailors started really well. Right, again, sorry. So this show, right, we didn't have much notes to prepare. We will get to that in a minute, but yeah. Just coming on my head, like what I remember. Yeah, so first 10 minutes, actually, Sailors was bright, and it looked like they were cracking, like knocking on the door in terms of getting a goal, right? And then the counter attack happened, and then Mr. Lee himself, right? What happened? He took
a very nice flick on.
A very nice flick on, that's for sure. A very, very nice flick on, and then Anu with actually I keep watching it, right? It doesn't seem so obvious that he tucked it back. So Tadanarili was using his his great experience to make it more than what it seemed like lah. And then you guys know there's the VR controversy, which let's not talk more about. Let's leave it for the discussion later, the open discussion where people can join in and talk about it. But that was the red, right? I have my thoughts about it, but again, that's for later. And that just derailed the whole game in terms of momentum, in terms of Sailors' will to victory. It was very tough for them to get the engine going with 10 men, obviously. And then Lionel Tan scored their own goal, and that was just the end. You can see quite a boring affair after that. Like, you can see Sailors trying to do their best with the usual Lestian Lopez combo, and to no avail because Albirex, with that being said, right, Albirex is still the favorites in this season. They look really, really good. Josh, you just watched the highlights only, right?
No, I watched the game.
I watched the game? Okay.
Yeah. So I know you're at the stadium. I watched the first half, I think, on the bus on the way back from work, and second half at home. I mean, I did turn to the Tampines game here and there, but I did catch most of this game.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say first 10 minutes, Sailors were really bright. They were actually controlling the game quite a bit, yeah.
Yep.
And then the red card happened, and then, they tried to make some tactical changes, bringing on right back.
Yep.
And then Bill Mamadou shifted to centre back,
yes,
right?
Bill Mamadou shifted to the main centre back, basically.
Yeah, but I think in general, it's tough enough to play Albirex with 11 men, given their kind of the way they like to pass the ball around, their stamina and stuff like that. So with 10 men, it was always going to be tough. I thought second half, Sailors did, until the last 5-10 minutes, they did hold Albirex back quite a bit. Besides Riku, I thought Riku was exceptional again.
Exceptional.
Yeah, when he came on at halftime, I'm like, Albirex really not giving chance. They really want to make this a statement win, and I think overall they did. The
Ogawa, is it number 8? His free kick was absolutely sublime.
Oh man, the commentator made a joke about his goal. I'm not sure if you watched highlights.
No, I didn't watch the highlights.
Is it something like, now he's going back to have a massage on his Ogawa chair or something?
Oh my, what a play of names and words and companies.
What a free kick.
But what a free kick, right? Nothing Zafan could have. I was just telling you off stream, like Zafan was rooted on the ground 3 times, 3 out of the 4 goals. But then actually all the goals he had nothing to do. Really, only maybe Takahashi's goal, the right back at the second goal, but
he
he
right in the side netting.
right at the side netting.
The first one, unlucky deflection of Linotan.
Yeah.
A free kick, great free kick, and the last goal was off the post and in, so it was right in the corner again, sort of thing.
Yep.
It's hard to blame him for anything. I think he did make quite a few good saves from Riku and some other.
Correct. And then Hassan Sani with that, there's some controversy also about him getting called traitor and whatnot, but let's not get into that. But Hassan Sani with I would say a very quiet game, but he had one spectacular save right dead center from Balestier, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he tipped it.
Over the bar.
Yeah, that's a really
great finish.
2-0. So if that went into 1, it might
momentum,
have been a different game.
Correct. Momentum could be a momentum shifter for sure. My notes, okay, again, no notes, but we talk about like the center mates, right? Hami Shine and Haris Harun, they were subbed out, and you can see the 10 men, like 60th minute, they already deflated. They kept defending. Albirex, right, is like the way of like passing the ball and the way they dictate the play is really, really good. Like they are one step ahead of like the local clubs. And I see them as the favorites going forward. But, as Singaporeans, especially me, we hope that, like your Rovers, even your Balestier can kind of upset them here and there.
Yeah. Actually, on the Hami sub, like I turned the channel for a while after the red card.
Yeah.
And then when I turned it back, I saw Hami was subbed off and Ashad came on and they had a bit of a reshuffle. So when I saw Hafiz, Diego, Haris, and Lestian in midfield, I thought
it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough. I would have thought, he would have left Hami and Haris to marshal the midfield and maybe Lopez out wide. Or maybe sacrifice Lopez off. But he decided to go with that shuffle, and I think Lopez did struggle in a deeper midfield.
Struggle. He definitely struggled.
And Hafiz did not really track back that much. So first 2 goals came from essentially the right back.
Yep. Okay, so before we continue, I just want to give a special shout out to Yoponde. Basically, Yoponde is like a fan from overseas. We knew him from Get Stuck In a stream. We are always like joking around, and it's great to see you, mate. I know this is Singapore football. If you want to know more about our Singapore local football, please feel free to tune in. If not, thank you very much for tuning in for this little while. We really do appreciate it. Yoponde, you're a big legend. Always plays Who Am I, and he's always like getting it right. So big legend. Kimi is here as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Okay, so let's not waste too much time. So yeah, Albirex, LCS, just the red card. We will get to that more later on. Final thoughts about this game. I think that let's talk about the bigger talking point. Kodai Tanaka, right? It's been confirmed that Kodai Tanaka is actually out for the season. This is going to be a big loss for the Sailors. Huge loss, right? I think later we also talk about like what this injury kind of implements or indicates to the whole league. What the Sailors doesn't look so confident right now moving forward. I don't know how many Sailors fans are here right now, but we'll stir up some spicy topics for you, as for sure. But yeah, Kodai Tanaka out is going to be a huge miss. 40 goals incoming this year. And who are they going to? Do you think they're going to put Shawa Anwar up front, or they're going to rely on Abdul Razak?
I mean, I think they will go with Shawal Anwar. Maybe play a front 4 of Lestian, Lopez, Hafiz, and Shawal.
Yep. Front 4, yeah, Shawal. He's been a bit unfit here and there, so let's see whether he can get his rhythm of things, and probably Shawal gets back into the starting lineup. Sad to see. 9 months out ACL. So again, to digress also a little bit, ACL tear in artificial turf again, right? Iksan, Ilhan, Kodai. It's gonna be a spicy topic in the future. But it's not looking good for artificial turf and ACL injuries. It seems to be very prone to tearing your ACL on artificial turf. Either ways, we wish Kodai a speedy recovery. Sailors is now, to be honest, as a neutral / Geylang fan, I think it's quite worrying as a Sailors fan. I don't know whether they can rely on Abdul Razak the whole season. And Shawa Anwar, it's yet to be seen whether Shawa Anwar can be relied up front as the number 9. Maybe they even put Lestier at number 9. What do you think?
Perhaps. I mean, he's the kind of guy who can take the ball and take the opposition on his own. So won't rule that out.
Yep. Okay. So here we go. So that's the end for this. Let's move on to the next game. So Kodai Tanaka out for the season. Thoughts? Just put it down your comment. So maybe can we say let's see now. Do you think the question for the chat is, do you think Abdul Razak will start, or do you think Shawa Anwar will start? Put it down in the chat, as the main number 9 for Sailors moving forward for the 2023 season. Okay, let's move on to the next game, right? The next game will be Young Lions versus Tampines, right, at Jalan Besar Stadium. This game, right, I would say that I saw there are a few friends of our community that was there. Right, I didn't get to ask what's their opinions. Maybe later in the open discussion we can discuss about this game. But I think that Kyoga Nakamura, from what I've gathered, had a way much better game. Not trying to throw a bit of shade to Young Lions, right? But Tampines now has what, only considered 2 goals? No, one goal
in
against
3
Geylang,
games.
and that goal is actually like kind of a fluke, lah.
Yeah.
To be honest, so Tampines defense this year looks solid. Last year they were a bit suspect here and there, but looking forward, I think this Tampines team, they can really make a noise. Maybe top two. With Sailors, with Kodai out, we will get to the early season what if thoughts. But Tampines looking fantastic. Faris Ramli 3 out of 3. The commentator, I think Roshan said that. Roshan said was it Roshan? No, I don't think it was Roshan. The commentator said that the last time Faris Ramli kicked off the season with 3 goals in 3, right, was 2019 when he won the SPL Player of the Year with Hougang. So Faris Ramli looks like one of the best signings for the Singapore Premier League this year for Tampines Rovers. And did Boris get into the score sheet?
I
I don't think so.
Taufik scored the first.
Yep.
I think Faris scored the second.
Yeah, Taufik with a header, right?
Third was Ong Yuan.
Yeah, Ong Yuan. Yes. Ong Yuan with the quite a close near post, and then he just whacked it in. Yeah, so that was quite late as well in the game. So, is there a delay on stream? I don't think so, mate. There's no delay. So yes, hope that have a speedy recovery. Could I get well quickly? It's maintenance. They don't have enough people for the job. Neither. They might start the under 21 kid. Shot wise, concerning for okay. Shawa will start. So okay, so people are saying Shawa will start as the number 9, and also Faris Ramli 3 out of 3. Great to see him having like a career rejuvenation after not career rejuvenation, more like a bad last season, right?
Yeah.
Off form, and then now he's coming back in form for Tampines Rovers. Last week we talked to TRFC, right? And it's a good point. I think Faris Ramli, the addition of Faris Ramli gives Boris Kopitovic doesn't have so much load on him. And then now with like Glenn Quay and all this kind of Joel Chu playing a more significant role, it allows Tampines to kind of spread the ball a bit more, and the goals doesn't have to always come from Boris. I think last year they really relied too heavily on him. Yeah. So, too early to say about defense. When Geylang had a quite few good chances the first game. Yeah, they had true AL. That's a very fair point. But yeah, Geylang, don't get me started on Geylang. But yeah, Rovers looking good. I think they're the top of the league right now. We shall see the standings later. Young Lions, so maybe we should put like a wager. When are they going to get their first win? It's actually quite interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did watch a bit of the game, and it looked like they were mostly just trying to keep the score down, playing very deep.
Yeah.
Causing Tampines not much problems offensively. Yep. So I think for them, for most game, it does seem like they're just trying to keep the score down at the moment.
Yeah. I think it's every year is the same thing. Not every year, maybe like the past recent years, Young Lions always concede quite a few goals, but they just scored early, and then they scored the first 2 goals in like the first 20 minutes, and then they held on all the way till the.
If I'm not wrong, both for around 30 minutes.
30, sorry. Yeah, sorry, 31 and 30, like in a span of quite fast, right?
Close, yeah,
quite close. Faris Ramli's goal was also a bit lucky. Like Joel Chu shot it, hit off a Young Lions defender, and then later Faris Ramli was just right at the right place at the right time, converted it in. Have some hope. Yeah. Okay, so Forza Rovers, one fantastic big Rovers fan here. Rovers looking good this season. Yeah. As much as I let's hope as a local team, I do hope Rovers can make a good search for the title this year. Looking at the good run of form they had in the start of this 2023 season. Peng Heng says that, what do you think of Emric Ong? We'll get to him later. I got some talking points about him later. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Brendan, have some hope, the key phrase for Sailors. So Braden is here. During the game, I told Braden, I said, hey, you need to keep the faith, have some hope. And then just as I said that, Albirex scored the last 2 goals in the 88 and 90th. Anyways, it was the number 10 who scored the last goal. We were just talking about it. So number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, Riku, right? Riku, number 9, and number 10. Those and 14 as well. All these players are fantastic. There's one in the comment. And number 2, Takahashi, right? Someone said in the comment, right, that earlier on, let me see where. Who's it? Yeah, Hendra, great friend of the show. He said probably this season Albirex team is better than last season. It looks. You can make a case.
Make the case. Yeah.
You can make the case, right? Last year, Ilhan came on and kind of carried that team in terms of the strike force, but this year they look like they're getting goals from all over the pitch. All over the pitch. More teamwork, I would imagine. So I think great to see that from Albirex. But okay, so let's move on to the next game. Any other thoughts on this game for you, Josh?
No, I think what's nice to see is that 1 goal conceded in 3 games.
Yep.
Definitely still early on. Tanjong Pagar attack has still been gelling.
Yep.
Young Lions don't have the best of goal scoring return, so maybe it is too early to tell. But it's always nice to see when a team has, last season they did ship quite a lot of goals. So this season it does look like they've tried to steady the ship, and they've been returning goals as well.
Yeah.
So it's quite I mean, you look at the best teams this year, it's like City, the way they control the game. Maybe Tampines are trying to adopt more of that kind of control instead of the usual chaos we see in some SPL
games. Yeah. And, we always talk very highly about Tampines and their midfield. I think they've got a very strong, young, and formidable core for the future. If you want to talk about like the national team and also, to build on a very good midfield for the future in Tampines.
There's a very technically gifted midfield. Look at Shahira, Andro, Chu, Kyoga. The way they can pass the ball around, like you saw at the end of last season as well.
Yep.
And previously when Shah and Joel were playing together at Young Lions, they have that chemistry that they've built up.
Yep. So I think nice great to see. Just good for the league overall and great promise for the future of Singapore football. Right. So chemistry is also very important. Yeah. So let's just move on to a fast one. Faris Ramli. Is he better than Marcus Rashford?
Quite close.
Yeah. You can make an argument. Yeah, you can make an argument.
I think based on this season's form, I think Rashford just shades it just a bit. The amount of goals he's been scoring. But I mean, Faris Ramli does have the better record. I don't think a Rashford averages a goal a game.
Exactly, right? Faris Ramli scores is 1 goal a game, right? Marcus Rashford is probably point something. So Faris Ramli can make an argument, right, that
the celebration, he does it better.
For sure. In that banging kid, I think this kid looks better than the United kid. No lah, just keep showing some shit lah. All right, so Gavin Ball supremacy. Yeah, Gavin Ball. So Blake started first. Yeah, Blake started.
Shakir did it too when he scored.
Why is everyone? Are we just like a copycat league or something? Can we do something more original? Right? It was quite funny in the Albirex one. Albirex goal was quite funny. They did some goal celebration. We were just wondering like, they took so long in front of it, and they celebrated in front of the Sailors fans. So the Sailors fans were all like jeering them in front. It was just quite fun to see.
Was it the last goal?
First goal. I think it was the first goal. Yeah, the first goal. Yeah, the own goal. No, sorry, the second. Takahashi's goal. Sorry, the second goal. Second goal. Yeah, my bad. Second goal. Yeah, Blake did it first, right? So let's see. We'll talk a little bit about Blake and Tanjong Pagar later. All right, so let's move on to the cracker of a game, right? This cracker of a game right here. Wow. I'm sorry to say, I only tuned in right at the red card moment, right, for the penalty, Alan Koza's penalty. So it was already 3-1 at the time. I went to watch the highlights. DPMM was up 2-0 in the first 7 minutes, right? And it seems to be like they're getting away with it, and then Taniguchi scored the header. It was a lucky bounce strike to his header right in front of the goal.
From Ignatius, right?
Yeah, Ignatius. And then the third goal for DPMM was a corner, and then it hit off a Ho Wai Lun, and then it went in. Own goal for Ho Wai Lun. And then the red card. Do you think it was a red card?
I mean, if you look, you've seen it given. Like, his starts went on the guy's, was it around his shin knee area?
Yeah.
So you've seen it given. People say like, oh, I mean, he couldn't really do much about it because he was landing and his foot landed it. But I mean, in terms of endangering an opponent, you have seen it given.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I think the problem was that, not say problem, but I think for Daniel Goh is that he got a touch of the ball right when he went down. So I think that the unfortunate carry forward leg from, what's his name? Indra Putra. Then, I think it's a bit harsh.
I think that's the thing when you have VL, when you can slow things down and the point of boot goes into the player. I mean, it does look bad. So
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Sometimes you can't really predict this kind of thing that's happening, right? And yeah, I think it's a very unfortunate rate. I think AL also makes a great point here. Very, very unfortunate rate. But they're still lucky that they were very poor. Oh, Marcus with a... I think Peter the Roo, I watched his post-game. He was very, very straight to the point. He said that Balestier kind of screwed up this game lah. The game plan was very simple, and then they overcomplicate stuff. When they passed, he said about how like they needed to spread the ball, but then when in the midfield they were too they were not composed, right? And then that's how they kept losing the ball to DPMM. I think overall I think they were a bit poor lah. But they still got to win. Taniguchi with a man of the match hat trick. A complete hat trick for him, and there's also a fun fact. He's 23 years old, and he's only 1 year off from completing his neutralization. I don't know whether he really wants to play for Singapore, but then after that it was another penalty at the end. You see that
Yeah, and then
It got
overturned,
over. So
right?
it was a red card, and then it got overturned. The VR took so long. It took him like, I think it took like 8 to 10 minutes, but I think that was the right call to overturn that. The ref got it wrong, but thank God for VR to kind of like overturn that, because I think it would have been very harsh. The ball went like it hit his hand clearly, but it was like right at his body,
Yeah.
so a bit defenseless and not intentional lah.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about it last week about how, Balestier, their midfield and their attack,
Yeah.
they're really good players. Just defensively, sometimes they do look quite suspect. And
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it again going down 3-1.
Yeah, so the first goal, Andre Varankov's goal, right? What was Madhu doing? I don't know whether you saw Madhu didn't even challenge the header early on the game, right? Then it just fell onto Andre's goal and then Andre's feet, and then he chipped it over the keeper, right? Great finish from Andre Varenko. DPMM, they still look really sluggish. They shouldn't be losing that game, like, even though you're 10 men down, but Koza's penalty was very well taken. And funnily enough, actually, Koza's through ball was also a really, really nice ball to Daniel Go. Yeah. And then Daniel Go, fantastic. I think he was, still man of the match for.
And I think like Ho Wai Lun and Taniguchi have that sort of chemistry.
Yeah.
They can sort of seem to find each other, get some assists here and then. Of course, Taniguchi have a hat trick.
Yep. So, I'm sure most of you here are like hardcore Singapore Premier League fans, right? You guys always love like goals galore. This game delivered. I think out of the amount of emotions in the game, it was really, really good. Right? Back and forth, right? DPMM winning 3-1 and Balestier come back from behind 4-3 with, DPMM down 1 man. It potentially could have been 2 men down, in fact. Thoughts about this game, I think Taniguchi was fantastic. Ho Wai Lun, I only watched the last few, like the last 30 minutes. Daniel Go was, electrifying, man. I think he needs to get into the national team. That kind of pace, I think that's what we need,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I think Koza, the second goal penalty, well taken penalty, and then Taniguchi with his left foot shot out of the penalty box as well at the 100 minute of the game.
90-10
minute of the game.
90 plus 10.
Yeah, 100 minute of the game, right? Balestier champions. Big up, kick off, big up. Yeah, so Balestier, we've said it in the past 3 weeks, right? Balestier, the first game I watched when they played against Hougang, they were really, really good actually, right? First half they were poor, but second half they came alive. Was it 3 games? Did they play?
Yeah, they beat Young Lions.
Yeah, they beat Young Lions,
3-1.
right? And then after that, this game, I think they can make a potential, dark horse kind of run in this year's Premier League. Yeah, so Peng Heng, thanks for reminding me. Emric Ong, he was outclassed, man. Clearly outclassed. I think Madhu was all right, but Emric was making so many mistakes. There was one at the end of the game, Emric kind of like was very, very poor. I think he was like contributed to like both of the goals were actually kind of his mistakes for DPMM. I think that overall I think he's the weak link in the defense. Madhu also is like getting a bit older. He's of course kind of like the anchor at the back, right? But I don't have much faith in the Balestier defense. That's the only thing that Balestier right now, their midfield is looking really good. Right? I think you can even make an argument that in terms of chemistry and passing from the back and technicality in the midfield, right? I think Balestier could be the top behind Albirex. I think they could be like the second team. Sailors haven't really gelled yet. Tampines, yeah, maybe Tampines and Balestier. So we did say Tampines, Albirex.
It's gonna be a cracker on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll be there. So for any of those Tampines or Balestier fans, right, I will be there for the game on Tuesday. I think that's the game I really want to go down and watch. I finally can see Tampines. I watched Tampines in the Eastern Derby, which I think they were pretty poor, right? But now with their run of form, I want to see Tampines, kind of like an on-form Tampines against Balestier that's also kind of peaking at the right time.
I mean, they did play, I think last year, the Singapore Cup semis, right? It was like 8-1 and 1-0 or something like that.
Was it 7-0?
It was a very
7-0
heavy defeat for Balestier, so I think we're going to see.
Yeah, but it's a definitely different team, different with the stronger midfield. Attack still looks pretty much the same, but
Koza.
Koza. Actually, Koza is the main addition.
Yeah,
so maybe Tampines can run right. Maybe Boris with a hat trick. You never know, because I think defensively they look pretty 8-1. I think
Sugita was supposed to be a great addition, but then I think he played the first game and he got injured for the past 2 games.
Yep. Okay, so that's for DPMM and Balestier. Last but not least, we have my Geylang against Tanjong Pagar. So Rio Taniguchi with his select ball. Select ball is actually quite expensive. I saw Ruben Sports selling like $190. Crazy. But the Balestier kit, man. Look at the Balestier kit. It's so nice. I love it so much.
Very clean after a 90-minute game.
Yep, still very clean. Still very clean for a white jersey. But look at that badge. Look at this specimen of an athlete right now. Fantastic. Okay, so next slide we have this game. Kimi is already here banging his drums. I know. Kimi, by the way, I watched the highlights. I saw you at the end of the game. They panned to the Tanjong Pagar fans and he was celebrating. Great to see. Great to see. Still early on the season, but I said it last week, right? That Geylang, what they will struggle this year's goals, right? I think Tanjong Pagar's defense have been really solid at the back, and I think Geylang didn't really pose a threat. I think there was only few good chances for Geylang where Bezer crossed it in. Yamaya headed it. Yeah, but I think it was quite a good save from Kenji. Not too much to worry there. Tanjong Pagar's goal, right? Blake with a beautiful. I think it was who? Shakir Hamza, was it that crossed it in? I think it was Shakir Hamza.
And Shakir got the first goal as well.
Yeah. So Shakir Hamza got the first goal, and then secondly Shakir Hamza assisted Blake. Great. Was it Shakir Hamza or Fatullah? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I feel like so Peng Heng said that Fasha should start 11. Okay, fair Fasha. It's a fair shout. But Fatullah was also great from the midfield from the highlights. Kenji, an amazing game. Oh, so that means, do you think that Gale? I don't know. Yamaya is, when I see the statistics, he had like the most shots. There was one at the end, close to the end of the game when Yamaya shot from the outside the box, and then Shafiq
Ghani on the rebound, right?
Rebound, and he didn't finish it lah. So I think that can be a bit unlucky. But yeah, as I said, right now the problem is, Geylang, when they struggle to get the goals, or when they are from behind, I see it's going to be a tough challenge for them. But then again, they kind of came back from behind against Hougang that day. 1-0 down, and then they came back 2-1.
And even Young Lions, right? They did come from behind.
Yeah, they come from behind.
Tampines, they were also...
No, Tampines is got
first.
They took the lead first in like the first 30 seconds. So, Geylang's offense, when they are midfield or their defense have an off day, and Tanjong Pagar, I think fair play to them. Finally, they get the season going for them. It's good to see them pick up their first points after a tough first game where they should have, Sugic missed the penalty and whatnot, but maybe they could have salvaged a draw there, right?
Yeah.
And then then the next game they also struggle against Rovers, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. And then 2-0, and then now they finally getting the season out and going. Kimi, I accept the banter. Now we are fried chickens. Your thoughts about this game, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people expected it to be a lower scoring game.
Yeah.
Because both attacks haven't really clicked.
Yeah.
As yet, Geylang, of course, they did score 4 against Young Lions, 2 against Hougang. I mean, it's all down to individual brilliance, those games mostly, and then also the crosses for the Young Lions game.
Yeah.
But then, this game, I think it's great to see Tanjong Pagar get off the mark. I think they play roughly the same way.
Yes.
Still very direct. They look a big threat from crosses when you can aim for
Blake.
likes of Shakir, likes of Blake. That's a great jump. Yeah, Sugic.
Yeah.
I think, going forward, they'll be buoyed by this game and maybe have confidence to tackle the next game with more confidence.
Yep. More.
If I'm not wrong, they are not
playing.
Pagar is not playing this.
Yeah.
Week, right?
So these funny fixtures, from what I gathered, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Right? Let me know if I'm wrong. But I think every game week, there's always one team not playing.
Yeah, because there's 9 teams.
Correct. So
4 games.
correct. So this past week was Hougang not playing. This past fixture, and now I think it's Tanjong Pagar. You're right. Yeah, so. We are playing. Let me see.
I know Hougang is playing Albirex.
Yeah,
Balestier is playing Tampines.
Yeah.
Taylor is playing Geylang. So Tanjong Pagar is playing DPMM. Is it?
Is it DPMM? Let's see. Tanjong Pagar. Sorry guys, let's take a detour. Yeah, they are playing against DPMM. Young Lions is taking the break lah. Yep. So we are playing DPMM on Tuesday. Okay, so yeah, I'll be at Bishan to watch Balestier Rovers. Should I watch DPMM? Nah, I think I'll watch Taman. Sorry, Kimi, I'm so sorry that I couldn't catch you on Friday to watch this game because I was busy Friday night. Still odd how there are no weekend games. Yeah, I don't know what's this funny fixtures going on like a Thursday, Friday, and Tuesday, Wednesday. But I think it's going back to the weekends the week after. Yeah, so is it a long break? If I'm not wrong, it could be quite a long break. Yeah, there is going to be a long break.
There's an international break.
International break. Yeah, so that's why there's an international break. Yeah, so Kimi, hey, by the way, Kimi, are they selling the new Tanjong Pagar jerseys yet? Let me know. If you're coming live later, just let us know in the discussion. Okay, so that's the end. Let's see now. so next slide, I think. Oh, just Blake and Yap. So I think Kimi said that Blake has been doing these celebrations in 2019. What a player he is, man. I think great midfield presence for Blake, for Tanjong Pagar. Great addition for not addition, like he's been there for like 2 years already, but great to see. Okay, so with that being said, this is the standings right now from the season. So I put here the Jacks devour the Eagles lah. All right, so I just want to start off by saying, if I put this in the young lines, sorry young lines, you can't see, or later I'll move this. But are we right to say, right, Chat, that Tampines could be better than LCS this year based on the current early form and now with Kodai Tanaka being out? Josh and I were actually talking off stream, and I think we both agree with this sentiment. I don't know, is there any Sailor fan? I know Eddie doesn't seem to be around here. I wanted to stir Eddie up a bit, but
I mean, I was tempted to say that Tampines could finish ahead of LCS in the previous weeks, but
yeah,
part of me thought they couldn't simply because of LCS's attack.
yeah,
When they had Balestier, Lopez, Kodai, and Shawal up front, I thought, that attack would beat most teams for sure.
Yeah.
But defensively, I do think Tampines have a better defense.
Yeah.
In midfield, I do think Tampines have a better midfield now. So now the question for me is a Kodai-less LCS worse off than Tampines full squad?
I think honestly, right, like I see how Sailors dictate their play so much around the L square combo, right? Less than Lopez combo, right? I think that it's quite fair to say, yeah, people in the chat saying it's very early, fairly so. But I do think that you can make a fair shot that Tampines right now could be making a good surge. If Sailors do struggle in the next few fixtures, right, and Tampines get a few fixtures going to their favor, they can gain quite a big of a lead, against the Sailors. With that being said, I don't know. It's very easy for Risto, the coach for Sailors, to kind of depend on Lestian. Lestian, he's a game changer. We all can agree with that. There's no denying that. But I think Rising Stacks made a very good point here that Tampines build up is quite good. I think the build up in terms of like their play and I'm assuming it's just the play, not the fixtures, but yeah, their build up is really, really good.
I think if Faris, Taufik, and Boris can click, which has early signs of promise, then it's going to be quite a good season for Tampines.
Yep. And they're depending on their two foreigner centre backs, right? Shuya and Milos.
Yeah.
Is he kind of a left back or centre back?
Left centre back.
Left centre back. When they play three at the back, when they move forward, I think Kyoga acts like the emergency.
He does bring the ball up pretty well. Yeah, but I think, on paper, it does look like so far Tampines' biggest test is going to be on Tuesday.
I
mean, they played Geylang. Geylang has been quite impressive.
Yeah.
But still, would you say Balestier have been more impressive than Geylang so far?
Say again, sorry?
Would you say so far Balestier has been more impressive than Geylang this season?
Yes, definitely for sure. I think in terms of like the problem with Geylang is I of course a bit biased. I will rep the Eagles, but the problem is Balestier's play from the back and like their strike force looks very very convincing. Right, Geylang I think they over rely on Vincent Bezecourt, and when Bezecourt doesn't have a good game, they struggle up front. Iqbal, with Yamaya. So Yamaya has been quite promising, but he's just not his impact on the game has not contributed to goals basically as of now. So of course, right now I will agree with you that Balestier looks more impressive than Geylang right now.
So I think Tuesday will be a big test. I think Rising Stacks is asking if like after Balestier whether Tampines face Albirex. If that's the case, then that will be a very good indication of where Tampines are at this season.
Yeah, I think that is a very, very good indicator indeed, right? With Tampines going up against Albirex. I can't wait for the game, man. It's probably going to come soon, right? Let's hope for that. Let's go for the game. I think that will be quite a good game to watch, right? Let's see whether Tampines can take the game to Albirex. But Albirex, man, the Takahashi, the right back, he's like built like a center back, but he's got the pace of a great right back. They're not missing
like
Masaya.
Ben White this season.
Yeah, a bit like Ben White, but they're not missing Masaya Idetsu quite a bit. So great to see Takahashi. And like what someone who was it earlier on said that Hendra said, right, that this could be this team for Albirex could be stronger than last season. All right, so that's the standings right now. Still a bit too early in the season, that's for sure, but just some talking points for people. Jonathan actually said, how about Hougang? Hougang, I don't know, man. When I watched them, great that they got a victory against Balestier, right, the opening week. But the previous game against Geylang, they were 1-0 up, and then second half they collapsed. Hougang's second half is always looking really bad, but their defense has looked really good. So They just need to shore up the midfield. I think like AJ and Zulfami on when the second half, I don't know, there seems to be like and Brian Ferreira, he's kind of non-impact player, right? Kind of opens up Hougang quite a bit when teams open them up in the second half.
I mean, Hougang have a chance of redemption from the Community Shield this coming week when they play Albirex.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a good indication how far they've come from then, and whether the extra week of rest would have helped them a bit.
Yeah.
Or it could have made them a bit more rusty and may take a bit of time.
But the next game is Albirex, right?
And Albirex on a high 4-0 win against their so-called biggest title challengers.
Yeah. It sounds good, man. But we got some insider news that Krychek may be starting he may be starting against Albirex.
Really? I thought I saw
Young Lions. Young Lions. That's still like 2 game weeks away.
Without Krychek.
Without Krychek.
Albirex going to be tough for them, but hopefully with their defense, they brought in 2 foreign centre backs. Hopefully they'll be able to put on a fight in that front.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the standings. Let's move on to the last slide, which is the Golden Boot. In my horrible, sorry guys, this was done in a very fast. So Ria Taniguchi first with 4 goals, followed by Faris Ramli 3 goals, and then Vincent Bezecourt with 3 goals as well. Right? Do you see Taniguchi winning the Golden Boot, or do you think Boris Kopitovic can kind of get the engine going? And
I mean, if you look at Albirex, it looks like the goals will be spread from
everywhere. Very spread. Yes, that's what we're saying, right?
You don't really have that out and out striker. Even Geylang, Bezecourt, I think it won't be one of these 3.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
I mean, my opinion is, I think favorite. I don't know. Do you think Kopitovic looks like the favorite, but it seems like maybe he has, like we say, Faris and Taufik weighing in with more goals.
Yeah,
it's tough to call at this.
Actually, I do see Faris Ramli,
I mean, I'm gonna give it to Abdul Razak. Lestian just
okay.
on a plate.
Okay, fair. Yeah. If Lestian and Lopez can give him on a plate, right? I think Abdul Razak could be a fair shot, right? But okay, Kopitovic definitely will get his engine rolling for sure. That's without a doubt. Bezecourt, I think, will tail off quite a bit because, I mean, he's going to be the main goal contributor and goal scorer. So it's going to be a bit tough as week in and week out. But Faris Ramli can be a good shot. If Boris and him can kind of like even the load out, right? I do see Faris Ramli kind of continuing the trend right now. Maybe a goal.
The thing about Tampines this season, they're also playing with a lot more control. So when they're winning, they tend to control the game a bit more.
Yeah.
Whereas in previous seasons, they'll go and try and win like 5-6-0. Boris can get like a hat trick. So maybe not. So if Shawal plays up front, I think Shawal is a decent shot as well.
Yeah.
With the service he's going to get.
Yeah, potentially. I think that could be a storyline that we could look forward into the future, right? Okay, so that's the end for the preview. We're going to do an open discussion now. So let us know whether you guys want us to do like a preview for the next week's game, but that will be in the next episode lah. So far, we've only done the review for like the previous, game weeks. We don't really preview it because maybe it's too short of a segment. So maybe we can do that in the review show. I don't know. We'll see that. We'll keep it in mind. Okay, so with that, we're going to do the open discussion right now. I'm going to put the link in our Telegram chat. And let's see whether anybody wants to join. Again, we'll keep it short, right? Maybe we'll keep this to like maybe like a 30-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute discussion, right? People can come into the show and give their points, give their thoughts about the games and whatnot, yeah? I'll send this in our chat, but let me see now. I also, let me just send it on YouTube as well. So for Rising Stacks, you want to join, right? I'm quite lazy to to open my Instagram and whatnot on the fly. Okay, so I'm expecting quite a few of you because we're going to talk about the VAR controversy. I think we can also play the you can play the replay right now. You can see what you guys think about the VAR and whatnot. So let's put VAR controversy. Let's wait for the people to pile in the pressure. Let me put in the chat, sorry. SPL, Alvinson, all of you also speak event effects also come from the contributors here. Okay. So let me put in. Sorry. Yep. Sorry, here we go. All right, we got Rising Jaguars.
Hello.
Yo, what's up? First time on stream. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for joining the stream. What are your thoughts about the games this week?
Tanjong Pagar is back.
Tanjong Pagar is what? Sorry?
Is back on form, I think.
Oh, it's
and
back on form. Yeah.
Blake as well. But
Yeah, for sure.
Marin, I don't think Marin has been like so a good signing for us this season.
Yeah, hasn't really
He,
started off really well,
yeah,
Marin, but maybe potentially. Okay, wait, let's okay, let's put on. Okay,
I
okay.
got something against that.
Yo, all right, right. Finally, you can
Hello.
see people. All right, so welcome, Kimi. So we got some Jack Force representative here in the house. Great to
He
see
also,
more. Slowly we got
perfect.
more Tampines, we got more Jaguars, maybe Balestier in the future. But anyways, welcome, Kimi. Welcome, Rising Jaguar. I didn't catch your name. Sorry, if you don't mind. What's your name, bro?
Jensen.
Jensen. All right, nice. The better
He's
Jensen in the Singapore
new
Premier
member
League.
in Jaguar Force.
All right. Hey, great to have you guys on. Rising Stacks is in the waiting list, but yeah, let's just talk about some Jaguars first, right? Maybe yeah. So Tanjong Pagar, Jensen was saying that they are finding their form, right? I think great to finally start the season with a victory, and get the ball rolling. Kimi, what are your thoughts about the Geylang game today?
Okay, what Jensen said is right lah. I mean, we're back. We found our rhythm, but sorry, I got to disagree. Marin, actually, you can see that he has potential to do well. He's just missing something. Like he's basically like Kim Shin Wook. No support, nothing lah. So I guess
So
there needs
could be
there needs
midfield
to be
maybe or more
service.
wing play support for him. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like he's a bit isolated, like. Is that what you're trying to say? Like he has potential to like build up the play and get the goals going, but if he's isolated all the time, it's a bit hard to get the goals, lah.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you look at Shukri, for example, like, I mean, if you watch the match against Geylang, he's just, I don't know how, like someone put a curse on him, or like, you're not supposed to score kind of thing. But I mean, I hate this. Shukri is a very good example what NS can do to a footballing career. So, like right now, both our strikers are really desperate for goals. So I feel that Marin, he needs time lah. He needs to. He still haven't adapted, I feel, but he needs to be more confident lah in his shot taking.
So who? I'll ask both of you, because we didn't really catch the game, right? Who was your man of the match against Geylang for Tanjong Pagar?
Blake, without a doubt, Blake. He was everywhere. He was like everywhere. Another one of my Jaguar Force guys, he can beg to differ lah, because he's an Akram fanboy. So you know who I referring to lah. So, but Akram was really good also. So, but I feel Blake was the key.
Yeah, Blake is always he's everywhere, right? Like your box to box, he builds the play up. He's got the strength and the physique to like also bully defenders a bit, and I think it's great presence for Tanjong Pagar overall. Josh and I have been very big on Tanjong Pagar's defense. I think defensively, you guys are looking really, really good, right? Tajali, Shakir Hamza, Faisal Roslan, all these players are. I saw on Jack Force they play a 3 at the back on the day against Geylang.
No, they actually played 5 at the back.
They play 5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, 5.
Okay.
They always play at the 5 at the back. It's just that they rotate a lot. So sometimes they're at 4 at the back, 5 at the back, 4 at the back, 5 at the back. So it's
I think that's really good. Most of the players are like full backs per se. Even Shakir Hamza is not really like a. Yes, over the later end of his career right now, he's playing more centre back, but he's also kind of a full back by nature. So I think that kind of like chemistry with the full backs is looking really good for Tanjong Pagar. Very dynamic at the back.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think it's more of the communication. Like, back then it was like, it was messy. It was really messy. Now you can see that there's communication. You can see that everyone's communicating, and there is that rhythm going on. And Kenji, he's still trying to get back his form. And after he ORD, his confidence wasn't exactly at a high because he haven't played for professional football for 2 years. So I told him, your clean sheet will come, And then after the Geylang game, I came out to him and I said, see, I told you your clean sheet is here. You need to be more confident in yourself. Like,
great save from him from when Bezakot swing that ball in and Yamaya. It was quite a fast reflex coming. It's great to see. I think that, like what you say, is the confidence booster. I think I think footballers in general, they need to have that confidence booster in their game, and then maybe it can spiral into a better trajectory for them, in moving forward. All right, so man of the match easily for you guys. Both of you all agree is Blake, right?
Blake.
Yeah.
Next game, you guys are playing against DPMM. Now Balestier has kind of shaken a bit of their morale and resolute. You guys think you can get a result there?
Yes. Honestly, yes.
Brunei
is not on form now, I have to say. They are not as strong as when they were in the league like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, 2 losses out of 2.
Yeah, of course, because they're looking a bit shaky. I think Tanjong Pagar now with a good victory against Geylang, right? I think you guys can kind of get the victory at Jalan Besar, right?
Yeah,
but I was
continuing
surprised
on from what right. Go ahead.
Okay, I was surprised that Shaheen did not start versus Geylang.
Fair.
He played very well versus Tampines. His defending was great, but he didn't start against Geylang, so that really surprised me quite a bit.
Fair. I think that's a fair. Maybe he'll start in DPMM because I think maybe they want
rotate
show up the defense a bit.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so yeah,
DPMM is like you said DPMM was better 3 years ago, right? Before they left before they took that COVID break. Who was missing? Who is missing now?
Blake.
That's why. That answers your question. Blake is their key player.
Yep.
So they
you
lost
guys
it.
stole
And
their key player, and then
I seen their comments, and Blake was like, I mean the fans were like, wow, Singapore League still Blake. Wow, Singapore League club still Blake. I mean they were saying it in Malay lah, so like they miss Blake I can see So it'll be nice if Blake actually does something against DPM, score a goal or something, and in a way rub a little bit salt to the wounds of the fans, but we'll see. Because Blake, I talked to Blake after the Geylang match. He said he's very excited to face his former team. So
yeah, no, I think tensions will be high. I'm not like maybe he will go back with. I'm sure he's got good rapport with his ex teammates as well, and the coaching stuff, and also I think there'll be quite a great game atmosphere as well for Blake, and so maybe he can he'll be the man of the match again against his old club, right?
yeah.
Okay, so
But
not to
at the end
so
of the day,
I've got
defense
a Tampines fan waiting in the sideline for a while. Let me just maybe put him on, right? So we can. Yo, what's up,
hi.
Rising Tech?
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on. I think you PM us early in the chat, right? So thanks for coming on and watching the stream. So what are your thoughts about Tampines this year? Maybe you can give some your own opinions.
I feel after our last match, our shooting wasn't that good, but we managed to control the match, and our passing looks very good. I think I watched the preseason versus Sabah. Our passing was also good. Like right now, we are playing.
Yeah, fair. I think like you were saying in the chat also, right? Like the fact that your build-up play is also looking way better in the midfield, and I think Josh and I also alluded, right? I think the defense in the midfield is looking really solid compared to last. I mean, midfield has always looked good for you, but I think the chemistry. First game, I think Shah Chaya and Kyoga was looking a bit lost, but I think right now they seem to be building that chemistry lah. I think 2 technical players building chemistry should be quite fast lah. Yeah. Maybe I can just throw out a fun question. Who do you think will have more clean sheets this year, Tanjong Pagar or Tampines? I could see Tanjong Pagar holding out quite a few clubs, with their quite resolute defending in the back.
I still feel it's Tampines. I think because of Shoya and Milos. And since last year we didn't keep a lot of clean sheets, I think that we motivate them to keep more clean sheets this season.
Fair. Any counter arguments from Kimi and Jensen?
I mean, our defense is new, so I wouldn't counter argument because our defense is new. I can't expect much from them. But of course, if you can keep a clean sheet, then that'll be better.
It's also still early to judge.
Too early.
Can I just ask one question, right, Kimi? That day, do you think that Geylang threatened Tanjong Pagar quite a bit, or was like quite a cruise control from Tanjong Pagar?
You saw our storyline, right? Our Insta story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough to say. that answer.
Okay, so I get my senses were right. My senses were right.
Basically, we thought Vincent Bezeco would be threat to us because he was a threat in our past matches with them.
Yep. Whoa. What happened? Wait. I think. Yeah. I think Kimi, your mic, you disconnected your mic if I'm not wrong.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. So for me it's like I thought Vincent would be like the threat like, okay, but I guess the Jaguars actually read his game, and he keeps trying to use the same tactic to score a goal against us. Like, long shots. Hello, different keeper, bro. You can't be
I
using
think
the
right.
tactic.
It's always we've called it out here also now, and that Geylang will kind of struggle to get the goals this year, and it's gonna be very tough if it's the same like facilitator, also goal scorer trying to do everything. It's like your Kim Shin-wook kind of theory and like Marin right now. If it's all dependent on that one person, right, and then the team doesn't really support the player, I think it's gonna be very tough. It's very easy to isolate the player, to kind of what's the word I'm looking for, compact the midfield and compact the defense quite a bit. Yeah.
I mean, basically,
So,
Vincent is in either Shake's or Faisal's pocket. Enough. He was nothing. That match.
Yeah.
We really managed to shut him down. It's like, I guess that is the key to shutting down Geylang's attack. Shut down Vincent and then safe in a way. So
I got a fast. Yeah, sorry, Jensen, you want to say something?
I feel like Geylang rely on Bezeco too much.
Yep. Yeah, they do. It's very, very clear to see. It's very, very clear to see. The strike
force. Sometimes Bezeco is sometimes good, sometimes not good.
He's unbiased. He's unbiased.
I think he's not whether good. He's a technical and really good player. It's just that you can't always, your players can't be good for the whole 90 minutes, right? So because of the fact that how much responsibility is on their shoulder, right?
Yeah, he needs the options also. So
correct.
I think they've got some new attackers like Naufal, Yamaya is new as well.
Yep.
So I think maybe it's still time to gel. I mean, he got used to Zuzu last season. That combo is quite deadly.
Yeah. Zuzu was a great
now
combo.
It's a whole new kind of. I mean, Iqbal is new as well, so it's like trying to gel. Against Hougang, he did win the game almost on his own.
Legitimately on his own. Really. That goal his first goal he scored was kind of a fluke, like from the I think Gareth crossed it in and then it bounced off the Hougang defender, went right into Bezeco's feet, right in front of the goal, and then later Bezecot shot right at Zaifu parried it into the goal. So
but you can't get away with individual brilliance every game.
Yeah, you can't.
If teams defend as a whole like Tanjong Pagar did and shut him out, Geylang will struggle this season.
I think Tanjong Pagar is a really good matchup against Geylang. You guys seems to be, the way both teams are structured, right? It seems to be like very, very good. The way Tanjong Pagar favors the matchup between Geylang against Geylang. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, one more thing. Quick one to all of you all before we move on to our next topic, right? And we got some guests also coming on. So for Jensen and Kimi, what are your score predictions for Albirex? My camera just froze. Can you guys hear us?
Can hear you, but
okay. So I'll fix the camera. Technical difficulty. What is your score predictions for Albirex? Sorry, not Albirex. DPMM Tanjong Pagar.
Now this is tough.
I'll say Tanjong Pagar would win 2-1. It will not be an easy match, but I feel like we will be the favorites to win the match.
So 2-1, yeah, from you?
Yeah.
Benson? Okay. Kimi?
Something about the Jaguar Force. We try not to make predictions that we are winning so much because we don't want to jinx the match. But from a neutral stance, I would say 2-2, but it will be a very hard fight. 2-2. But if we win, it's a bonus. So we'll see.
Yeah. And then Rising Stacks, if you're there, what are your thoughts about predictions for Balestier Tampines on Tuesday?
I feel it's going to be so hard because the last match we first played Balestier away. It was draw. It was a 2-2 draw. But we are not playing at Toa Payoh now. We're playing at Bishan. I think it will be 2-1 to Tampines if I win. but it won't be easy because of how Balestier, Taniguchi and all.
So sorry, say one more time. 2-1, is it?
Yeah, 2-1.
2-1. Okay, that's a fair, very, very fair prediction. Okay, so we got
Not
another
con
guest coming on. Well, I'm trying to fix my camera. Okay, so Hendra. Okay, so Hendra, what's up, mate? Can you hear us? Yo,
Yeah, can you hear me?
yo, we see all these communities joining. It's great to
Why-
see.
Yes.
Let's talk
Why
about the
am I the
VR
older?
now. Let's talk about VR. So wait. Before we talk about VR, Hendra, how are you today? Thanks for coming on. What are your thoughts
Good,
about
good.
you were at the Sailors game, right? What are your thoughts about the Sailors
Yeah.
game?
Um, that was a very um. Honestly, it was bad game lah. But
Yep.
with the red card, I don't know if that is like a red card or not. But with 10 men losing 4-0, I think we could have done better.
Yep.
We like at the second half we had some like attacking like like we attack against the defense, but I think Albirex defense is just solid lah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Albirex is. I mean, even with the one, even with I think if LCS also weren't down with one man down, it would have been a very tough game for Sailors as
Yeah.
well overall lah. Great game from Albirex. Okay, so what are your thoughts about the VAR? I think we'll just end off with that question and then we'll call it a stream. Yeah. So everyone, I'll just ask you, right? What are your thoughts about the VAR call for Anu's red card against Albirex? Do you think it was a right call? Do you think it was a bad call? You think it was rightly given, wrongly given? What is your thoughts? What is the chat's thoughts? Maybe I'll start with Jensen. If you've seen the replay and the thoughts
Yep.
about it.
It should have been a yellow, I feel, because he wasn't that true on goal. He had to do some dribbling and some work to get past to score that goal. So I feel that it should have been a yellow instead of a red card.
Okay, fair. I put a screenshot on the stream. Tadana really flopping quite hard. I swear he really used the experience, right, to make it seem like a red card lah. The way he fell down. Anu also didn't have much contact with it, but okay, sorry for me going on a bit of a tangent. Kimi, what are your thoughts about this red card? Was it a yellow? Was it a red?
For me, I mean, it was definitely a doxo, but it was so far away, and there's two defenders behind of him. So it's like, for me, that red was extremely harsh. A yellow, at the very least, is a yellow lah. At most, and at least, a yellow.
Yeah, I think
Because
when the ref straight away gave the yellow, I think it was very well deserved yellow. But when he went for VR and then when they gave the red, I'm just like, are you sure it was a red? I'm like, wow, I don't really.
But here's the thing, I want to say something else. After they did this, right, the Geylang match, right, they actually never used the VAR, barely used the VAR, you know. Like the first few matches, they used VAR like to decide every bit of stuff. But then the Geylang match, they barely used the VAR, you know. So I mean, from both ends, like Shake had a handball, which honestly I did not catch it, so I assume it's not a handball. But they never used the VAR, and then there's a few calls that we should have gotten, never used VAR. So it's like, and then there's one shot that technically was saved by Geylang's keeper, but I felt the ball crossed the line. It's just that he hugged the ball. It didn't look like it crossed the line. VAR should have caught that. Come on, it's like really.
But we don't have goal line technology.
I mean, we don't have goal line technology, but VAR at the very least should have caught that. Should have at least made a check, because they only made like 2 checks throughout the entire match, as compared to don't know how many checks.
I think it's a bit inconsistent, basically. That's what Kimi was saying, right? Like some games they do like every. And then the first game, I remember the Eastern Derby, like was there barely any checks. Then Sailors games, every foul, every goal, there's a check. So it's a bit inconsistent on all the games now. Yeah.
And I want to say one more thing. It's like the last game, our last game against Tampines, it was like we had a lot of VAR checks, a lot of interruptions with VAR. We had 4 minutes extra time, 4 minutes of stoppage time after full time. Sorry, after the second half. the Geylang game, we also had 4 minutes of stoppage time. I'm like, where's the consistency, man? Seriously.
The Tampines match, there was Shakil was injured, and that took quite a bit for him to get up.
Yeah.
And that
4 minutes.
so when they hold up the board 4 minutes, we were shocked. We thought it would minimum should be like a 6 minutes or 5.
So I think it's just more consistency, and I don't know, maybe there's a bit of an agenda against Tanjong Pagar. We'll see. If this keeps up, then you guys will make a fair claim to it. So let me introduce Ian, a good friend. Sorry, Ian, you've been on the.
Hello.
Yeah. What's up, Ian? Hougang fan. So
Hello.
today we are quite well represented, right? We got Jax. It seems to be the first time we are outnumbered by the Jax. It's great to see that. Yeah. So we got Tampines fans. We got Hendra. Hendra, are you a Sailors fan? You are, right? Or just neutral?
Yeah, but he goes see Hougang Bull. But he goes see Hougang Bull.
Okay. So Ian, what are your thoughts about the VR? Was it a yellow? Was it a red?
It's a red because it's Anu. And they're very hard.
Straight to the point.
This is normal.
Oh my
Hougang
god!
fans.
I mean, what are your thoughts?
It's typical for Anu lah. It's typical.
Just Anu lah, okay lah. But if you want to be a bit more objectively thinking, do you think it's a red or like it's a yellow?
It's a yellow lah.
Yellow lah.
But Tatanari died very well.
Yeah. Tadanari really.
Use experience.
Full. Yeah. You're right. All right. So Hendra, what do you think? Is it yellow or red? I mean, I know your thoughts lah, but just go on the stream and let your thoughts be known.
Yeah. I mean, it's a yellow of like if they check. I mean, they can check, but I don't know why did they give the red card. They probably just like Tadanari diving skills. He probably just like train every day for that dive.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it's a matter of like, I think like what Ian said is true lah. Is the way he dived, right? Then it was very convincing. Like, you know, even the ref called it the yellow, and I think the ref wasn't fooled by it. But after based on like maybe more pressure from the VAR, and then he changed his mind going to the red shot lah.
They are too insecure.
Wait, who was behind the VAR?
Jensen Fu.
Of course lah.
The SPL VAR is just like insecure of their choices they made. So
you see, so Wen Long has a good point lah. He says that by looking at the screenshot capture, how is that even a clear goal scoring opportunity to warrant a red card? I mean, that's fair. Chris,
Alright,
you said give me a good point.
He's only slightly past the midfield line, so I don't think it's a goal scoring opportunity.
Great point.
He wasn't even a last man though. So.
Exactly, right? Rising Stacks, just last one for you. What do you think your thoughts? Yellow, red card to you?
I didn't really see the challenge on it, but after that I saw, I think it seems to be a yellow. Because, it seems like to be a dive. And it was not even a goal scoring opportunity.
No, it's like really
He started
very little contact, right? But Josh, your thoughts?
Moving down the line really quickly. Okay, I mean, well, a lot has been said about this. I mean, you look at this, it does look like the fullbacks are quite tucked in.
Yeah.
Arguably, you can make an argument that there's a 50-50 chance that they would have got there before. I mean, not got there before Tadanari, but caught him before he reached and took a shot.
Yeah.
But for me, it's one of those. It's if they gave a yellow, you don't dispute it.
Yeah.
It's not a clear and obvious error.
Correct.
But if you gave a red, would you dispute it?
Yes.
I don't think you would.
You would? Oh, okay.
I think either way, it's not a clear and obvious error.
Yeah.
But once yellow is given, I think there's no reason to
change
overturn it. I thought yellow would have been fair, but if it was a red given, I don't think that's a clear and obvious error either. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Because if you look at this picture alone, right?
Yeah.
It does look like Tadanari just needs 2 or 3 touches and he's going to get a shot away. So it's 50-50 for me. It's a 50% chance defenders will have got there, 50% not. So for me, I mean, it's a tough one to call. A lot of people have had their view on this.
Yeah.
I mean, we did see a similar incident in the A-League. I mentioned to you this morning, and then we also saw someone send in the chat earlier. So,
You see, even AL also made a good point. Like, so Josh, I know you're kind of playing devil's advocate here, but I agree with you. If it was given yellow, I think we all agree there's no need to overturn it. If it was a red, I think you can also kind of, if you know, let's just say there was no VR, the ref gave a red, I think we'll be like, okay lah, last man challenge or whatnot. But, AL has a good point here.
I mean, this is another point I think I brought up in the chat.
Yes.
Like, you have to consider the pace. I mean, people say you don't take that into account, but then one of the points is likelihood of getting the ball. So if likelihood of getting the ball, you have to look into this a little bit, I feel, because it's very different comparing, say, Mbappe versus who's a slow defender, maybe Carragher in his later years, versus like a Andy Carroll versus a rapid defender like, say, Bellerin.
Correct.
So likelihood of getting to the ball does depend a bit on pace, and you could put a stronger argument that Chris, maybe Bill, do have a lot more pace.
Yeah, 37-year-old
Anu, probably not well beaten, but the fullbacks do look in a decent position to at least get a 50% chance to get a challenge in.
Okay, so I just want to say, right, like, honestly speaking, I think this also boils down to, like, Anu being in this kind of position. He's not a natural centre-back, and I think he was put in a position where he knew that after Tananari kind of left him for dead, he realized, like, oh shit, I screwed up here. That natural instinct from a defensive mid is to, play like this kind of like challenge. Like, he probably thought he was going to get yellow and let's move on from the game, but he didn't know it's going to be so harsh to be a red card.
Yeah, I didn't think it was necessary for Lionel to actually press in the instance because Hami was quite well positioned.
Yeah.
So when Lionel went up and the ball went past him, once Tananari took the touch, I think Anu sort of panicked. He just, first instinct was just take him back.
Yeah.
Which would have been okay if Lionel was next to him, or slightly deeper. But the fact that Lionel was gone made it even more
obvious,
complex of a decision, because you have to look at the fullbacks and then
tough lah. Lionel also being in that position, I don't know why he commits so high lah. Anyways, so yeah, Martinelli is D Jacob, what a name. Thanks for. I'm assuming it's an Arsenal fan. Okay, anyways, we got a new friend on the stream. Sorry guys, it's a lot of people. I'm sorry if I cannot pass the time over to you guys. But we got Mr. Tampines Rover himself, JT in the house. Welcome, JT.
JT.
Yo.
Hello,
So maybe to end the stream, we'll just ask JT thoughts about Tampines, the VR, and then we'll end the stream for today. Yeah. JT, what are your thoughts about Tampines? Look, the past game, the next game, and also the VR call.
Which VAR call? There are so many.
Okay, specifically the LCS or Anu's red card.
That one, to be honest with you, I saw the replay. I was a bit 50-50 lah. If you say yellow is a bit too lenient, if you say red is a bit too harsh also. Because it's like, yes, Tananari is clean through on goal based on my impression. But the distance is still a bit too far.
Yeah. Fair. And then your thoughts about, you guys getting a very convincing victory against Young Lions?
It's always good to get 3 points. It's always good to get 3 points, but still chances can. We cannot waste our chances. We had quite a couple of chances during that game itself, but I think the goalpost saved them that day.
Okay. Fair. And then, your thoughts about... I'll probably see you guys at... I'm going for the Tuesday game against Balestier at Bishan, right? So your score prediction for Tampines Balestier?
Close fight. We cannot totally write off Balestier because I actually watched this. I watched the game online. Balestier really fight back on that day itself. I would say Tampines will probably edge by 1 goal. I was so okay. It will be close fight.
Close fight, yeah. I think Balestier looks. I don't know if Tampines can get an early goal. I don't see Balestier coming back, lah. That's my opinion. Hopefully, Tampines can. So far this year, Tampines has scored quite a few early goals, so I think they can.
Yeah, Tampines also can control the game mostly now.
Correct. With a better midfield, I think you guys can really control. Balestier,
But at the same time,
okay, so
Brunei had 2 early goals, and guess what happened after that?
Oh yeah.
Yep, and then they collapsed.
Cannot write them off lah.
But I think
Lions.
But I think Brunei's red card really helped Balestier out with the comeback.
Definitely lah. Man advantage.
Yeah,
He's
they
never
plays
going
a part. They were 3-1 up. Then they lost a man, but I think that's when Balestier's second half is looking really good, man. I think when they get themselves composed in the game and the likes of Daniel Go have having that kind of electrifying pace, right? It really balls a challenge for the right hand side of the midfield, and it opens up more space for Taniguchi and Khalsa, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, and Balestier had a penalty, but it was ruled off by
Yep.
AF.
Yep.
And that
They were ruled off.
And that was supposed to be a red for Brunei.
I think I think it was rightly called. I don't think it was a red. Because yes, it was a handball, but nothing the defender could have done anything about it. Right on his body, lah.
Because he was jumping. He was jumping. There.
Fair. I mean, it's up to criticism and debate, but I think it's good that to be honestly, I think it's fair that it wasn't called, and it made the game more exciting at the end. So
you just want two more suspended players against us, right?
And hey, if it was a red card, I think you guys would be very happy for the next game, right? You guys would.
Yeah, we were celebrating it until it got reversed. So I'm like, okay, never mind. But either way, Ura Yunus is not exactly a key player. I wanted Voronkov or maybe get red card. That one show. Or Azwan Ali, red card. Okay.
And that is the first time Jensen Fu made a correct call for one.
Damn.
I never said anything. That was harsh.
I will not comment much on that.
Yeah. Okay. With that, I think we're gonna call this a stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you all, for all the guests, the co-panelists that has joined the show. I think this has made the show a bit more interesting. Thank you, Jensen. Thank you, Kimi. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Hendra. Thank you, Rising Stacks. And thank you, JT. JT, sorry that we only have you for a while, but maybe next time we can talk more in the future. That's for sure.
Definitely.
We didn't want to keep
the Arsenal game also.
Yeah. I want to tune into the Arsenal game as well. That's a very good.
Yeah.
It's half time now. Is it still 0-0?
2-0.
2-0 already.
For start,
Yeah, 2-0.
They don't need watch already lah.
2-0 to Fulham.
But the Man U got red card.
No, it's 3-0. It's 3-0.
3-0 now.
Yeah, it's 3-0.
You love to see that.
My stream lagging.
JT, what stream are you using? What stream are you using?
It's 3-0. It's 3-0.
It's supposed to be 4-0. It's supposed to be 4-0, but VAR caught off the first one. Then Odegaard, Nelly, and I think Trossard scored those 3 goals.
Damn.
Okay.
Cruising to the title. Exactly. JT and I. Wait, any Arsenal fans other than JT and I myself?
I wanted Fulham to win.
Okay, Arsenal just scored a third.
Yeah, see Josh lose 1-0 against.
I also Arsenal fan.
Arsenal fan, okay. United now, Casemiro also just had a red card, right? I think.
Orienta.
2 red cards.
Okay. Anyways, you can talk this on the chat. Thank you, everyone. So, we'll do the outro. Josh, any final thoughts from today's stream?
Yeah, I think in a way it's good that you enjoyed SPL football on Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You can look forward to another 4 games.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great games. In the span of 5 days, we get 8 games. So it's great to see.
Oh, Casemiro has a red card.
Yeah.
Red card, Casemiro red card. All right, so with that, thank you very much, everyone. I'm gonna play the outro. Cheers, and I'll see you guys definitely for the next stream. This open up. Thanks for Kimi again, the Jack Force, great representation, and Ian as usual, Hendra, Rising Stacks, and JT. I'll see you guys in the Tampines game. Right, so Rising Stacks, you're there. JT, I'll definitely see you. Right.
Yeah, bye.
Hendra, I'm sure I'll see you there as well. You're there.
Enjoy some cherries.
Yes.
Enjoy.
96 minutes.
Okay, so
Enjoy. See you.
outro. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Bye.
And see you guys soon. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.